Hello Wargames, it's me Callum from Tabletop Banter, and today I'm doing another video from the Dark Vengeance box set, and this time I'm going to do a quick sort of a painting tips guide to painting up the Helbrute you can see here. It was the first one I've done, so this will be the first how to paint video that I do. So I'm just going to run through step by step what I did. As you can see here, there have been no real changes to how it's been modelled or anything. Just tried my best to paint it as best I could. So the first step was to base coat it in red. So after you used a primer, I used a grey primer because I find that means I can go light or dark. I took Wazdaka red from the Citadel paint range, and I just painted up all the armour and most of the flesh. As you can see sort of here and here, I just kept it nice and simple, just went for a corn theme, pretty much red all over. And then once I allowed that to dry, I continued with other base coats. So I used the Auric Armour Gold for all the gold embellishment bits and the armour trim, etc. I then hand painted the base in black. What came next? I did, obviously, here I used Abaddon Black, and I based that in Abaddon Black. And then I used Rakarth Flesh for any of these sort of flesh tones here that you see on the piping. And also here on the spine work, that was all Rakarth Flesh, and this over here. And as I spin it back around, I used Ushabti Bone for the Deathwing Terminator bits on the base because I thought that would look kind of cool as I am doing Dark Vengeance. Following on from that, once I'd done all the base coats, I then took two different shades. I took the Druchii Violet, which did my flesh tones, as you can just see in here, and my flesh tones for the piping, etc. And then I took Agract's Earthshade and did all the armour. Now Druchii Violet also did the other bits of red flesh. For example, the back, that's all been washed in Druchii Violet to get in these creases, etc. Because I think it works better than the Crimson Carroburg or whatever it is, or Carroburg Crimson, because it just gives it a different tone. And I wanted the metal armour plate tone to be different from the skin, so I went with Agract's for that. Moving on from that, once all the shades had dried, I decided to have a crack at finishing off this gold. Now it was looking a little patchy before, so what I did was I took Runelord Brass and I did a really light but consistent dry brush, and it gave it this sort of slightly like worn gold, which I'll be going with for the rest of my army because I think that's quite a cool look. I was pretty happy with how it turned out. Very surprised actually, because I only used the Runelord Brass because it's the only colour I had at the time. But I think it worked fantastically well for just dulling it down a bit, making it less gold and giving it a shiny finish to it at the same time. You can see I've detailed a couple of bits with this Loathern Blue. This is all after the wash. I used Rakarth Flesh to give this like ghoul-like eyes, so there's no pupil to it, unlike some other models I've been working on lately. I then went over this in Leadbelcher, and then I did an Agract's Earthwash again. And the important thing here was there are metallic details here, which I did before I did my wash, which gave them a purple tinge, like this bruised purple tinge, and that really came out quite nicely too. Then as we move on to the base, what I did here was I used my Xerxes Purple, and I did like a very heavy dry brush, almost like a coat of paint on top of the black, but so you could still get the black coming through. And then I took, I think it's Emperor's Children, it's the pink, the bright pink, and I dry brushed that over the top, and it gives this like demonic base. Apologies for the creaking chair, but I can't quite see my camera, so it gives like a demonic planet base. The next thing I did here was possibly my favourite bit on the model, which is silly because it's, you know, the whole Helbrute. I picked the Lightning Claw, and I did my first wet blend here. Now to do this, you take I'd say a fair blob of dark blue. I used just a random blue acrylic I had, and then Loathern Blue, and then you wash your paintbrush. You laden it with water, maybe dab the end off, and then just brush from dark to light. Or from light to, I did mine light to dark because you just gradually make it lighter, and it mixes with the blue as you brush down, so it gives it this kind of blend, this natural blend. and then a couple of other details, just filling in the gaps, and a quick dry brush of the Rakarth flesh over the flesh tones, the lighter flesh tones, just to really even it out. And what you get is quite a simple paint job that's fairly detailed enough. Like, there are enough details on here that I didn't really do too much highlighting, other than a quick dry brush here or there, just to lift some areas. But that's it really, just keep an eye on the details. I did a dry brush of lead belcher on these pipes just to make them look more metallic. And that's about it really. I had good fun painting it. Came out quite nicely, I think. I have a store competition coming up soon, so I'll probably do a few more details on this and then drop it in. I'm not expecting to win or anything, but I think it's at a level where I can enter it and not be utterly embarrassed. So that's pretty much it. You know how I painted this up now. It is fairly simple. A lot of it is red, and once you've done the red, getting the right tone on the gold was important. So that's Auric Armour Gold, followed by a Runelord Brass dry brush. I use Citadel paints and brushes just because I like them. I think they're high quality for an alright price. And that's about it really. So there's another one in the Dark Vengeance series, a how to paint the Mortis Metallicus Helbrute. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below if you have any points or tips for other people trying to paint Helbrutes, or if there's anything you liked about mine that you thought you'll do a different model of your own. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and don't forget, have fun.